Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, you
Welcome to
all can have
Fempreneur
your technical
True
dickies
Confessions. Laura,
done.
you guys may wonder why I'm the one that always introduces. It is because the majority of the time, Laura is having technical dickies. That's what we call them here, technical dickies. And today is no exception. So if she seems to be a little off, that's why. But welcome. We're here. We're glad to be. I'm super glad to be here. It's been a rough couple weeks, y'all. Um,
Yeah.
as you can see, I got a different background because we are in a new location. We moved a week ago. It feels like yesterday. I'm still exhausted, although I am looking at a beautiful forest in front of me and just so I'm going to start tearing up. I am so happy to be here. I am so like in this chair in front of this window in this little house, and yeah. So I
And
hope
you were so excited for it. Have I caught up?
almost.
Okay. You were so excited for it too.
Yeah.
Just we've talked about the fact that you found in pictures in dream boards and vision boards and different things that you have been bringing this in. So it's all really exciting.
Yeah.
I saw the pictures on Facebook, which are so cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go check out the pictures of her.
Yeah, and we have people asking for phase 2 pictures of it furnished. Well, it's a hot mess right now. As you can see, there's still boxes stacked up behind me, but we're getting there. My partner and I do events every weekend, do outreach every weekend, and he has a band that he's in and practices every weekend. So our weekends are packed. So we actually aren't set up yet. I mean, we're not furnished. We don't have a lot of furniture. We don't have we have we have bookshelves. I have 3 bookshelves, 2 desks, and 3 office chairs. Why I have 3 office chairs, I don't know. I only have 2 desks. I have a desk. He has a desk, and that's kind of it for furniture. I mean, obviously we have a bed and a dresser, but not a lot of furniture. But so the stuff is everywhere, and there's not a place to eat. There's not a place to. I think one day I just sat at my desk and ate, and he'll or sit on the edge of the bed. We do have a recliner that was left here. We're not sure if we're going to keep it or not. It's not bad, but anyway,
Yeah.
yes. It's been a rough couple of weeks getting in here. Just plus, as everybody knows, if you keep up with the podcast, if you keep up with who we are and what we do and all the woo, the planets have been.
They're aligning into something.
Wow. Yeah. So anyway, super happy to be here. Y'all know who we are. I'm Angelique with Lady Powerhouse Solutions. Laura is with ODAA.
Yes.
We do really similar things, and this podcast is about a little bit about our journey, but also about why we started the podcast was because we weren't seeing other people, other women in business with the same struggles we were having. And we were like, are we crazy? Are we stupid? What's wrong with us? Why are we the only ones dealing with these issues? And we aren't. It was just nobody was talking about it. So that's why we started the podcast. That's what the podcast is about bringing other female entrepreneurs in to talk about their journeys, their struggles, so that other female entrepreneurs can see this modeled. That yes, this entrepreneurship journey can be difficult and lonely, and this is how we can still thrive and support each other. So,
right. And not a mean, ugly way where it feels like business is mean and ugly and just kind of. It used to call it the ick, and now it's more like, it's just one of those, not my way. It's just not my style. I don't feel. It is. It's kind of like an icky feeling or whatever. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Laura and I were both in a group coaching program together for female entrepreneurs, and one of the speakers at one of the masterminds, her name's Jen Kim, Kem. Look her up. She's phenomenal. But she talked about pink slime, the pink slime, right? Of women sliming each other. And then she also talks about a framework of decision making that kind of is what we're like, coming from an authentic place of how do we make consistent, authentic decisions. Highly recommend you look her up. But she has
a new book out. I actually have it. I didn't know you were going to mention her. Also, I had grabbed it, but I'll grab it. We'll put the link in there. But she's got a new book called The Unicorn Team.
Yeah.
And there's a whole, it's amazing what she's put together and wonderful. So definitely go look her up, support, and be a part of what she's doing.
Yes. Yeah. We definitely align well with her. So if you like what we're about in our vibe, you'll vibe with her as well. And today's guest, Gaz, is Gaz, and we're super excited to have her. She is amazing.
Will you do the read on her?
You want me to do it?
If I click anywhere, I seem to freeze up, and the last thing you need is me accidentally just.
All right. Well, you bring her in, and I'll read the bio. So, okay. I don't know how to say her last name. I barely know how to say her full first because it's such a beautiful, gorgeous name. Yes, welcome, Gaz. Gaz is the co-founder of PodWritten, and PodWritten is a podcast booking agency for health and wellness businesses. She started her career as a teacher and then became a content writer and editor for a PR company. But in 2024, driven by a desire for freedom, she and her husband launched PodWritten, despite having no prior business or sales experience. But Gaz embraced the unknown and decided to learn and grow along the way. And so today, through PodWritten, she helps health and wellness brands secure interviews on top podcasts like ours and teaches them about strategic storytelling. She is fluent in Turkish, English, and Spanish. And she's been featured in top-tier publications like Entrepreneur and Forbes Centroamerica. Welcome, Gaz.
Thanks so much for having me. Thanks for the introduction.
You're very welcome. And you're actually near Turkey in Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia.
She's in the capital of Georgia.
Georgia, the country.
Yes, Georgia, the country. It's 8 p.m. there. We are broadcasting at noon Eastern. It's 8 p.m. there. And I had to look it up before we started. It's like along the same longitude as our Midwestern states, Nevada, Utah, Nebraska, and some of those states. So she's got really nice summer weather, just like we do. It's a bit warm.
It's a bit more than warm, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Central Florida, so it's a little bit warm here too. And it's beautiful there. Tell us about it.
Oh yeah, so we are currently in Georgia, and we didn't plan coming here. So my husband and I decided to be digital nomads, and we were going to start in Southeast Asia. But now my sister is pregnant, and I really want to meet my niece, so we wanted to stay around Turkey until she gives birth. And that's why we chose here. And we didn't have a lot of expectations. And we came here and we fell in love, and we decided that this is the most underrated place.
Right.
And nobody talks about it, but it's been beautiful here.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, the title for today's episode is How to Silence the Excuses and Create the Life You Want. And so I want to give you an opportunity to share how we came to that title, because you went through, I'll let you tell your story and how you came to grasp that, understand, learn that lesson, right?
Yeah, definitely. So it's been a quite journey, and I can say that I'm from Turkey, hence the weird name, but the weird last name comes from my husband, who's half British and 25% Venezuelan. So my name is Turkish, my second last name and my first last name is English, and the other one is Spanish. So it's all confusing now. I have the weirdest last name just because of that. But I think me being from Turkey is important because it shaped a lot of beliefs that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the excuses mostly came from that. Before we started our business, I was working as a PR, as a content writer in a PR company, and before that, I was an English teacher. So it was 6 years ago. So I can say that in Colombia, the minimum like hours that you need to work is 48 hours. And then I was working for minimum wage for 48 hours. Of course, it didn't help with anything, so I had to work extra. So in total, I was working 60 hours a week,
Mm.
and to me, it wasn't normal. It was exhausting, but I never thought about quitting this before until I met my boyfriend now, like he's my husband. And he asked me, "Why are you doing this?" I mean, and then I came with a bunch of excuses because I cannot quit. I need this financial stream coming in. I need the money. I need the money to do something. I don't have an emergency fund. I was coming with a bunch of excuses not to quit this job that was like silently killing me because 60
Mm-hmm.
hours is just exhausting. And after some time, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to quit. I wrote my resignation letter at 7 in the morning. But I think the most difficult, it was one of the most difficult things that I did because while I was growing up in Turkey, we have this mentality that you don't quit your job
Right.
because that job gives you money, like you don't work for it, like you're doing it like just for them. But so that job gives you money, put food on your table, and then you just don't quit because not working for a place, even if it's not good, is better than not doing anything. So it's quitting your job is such an ungrateful thing to do. And I didn't know how like I had this in my head until I met him and changed my perspective. So it's like being in Turkey in a way that like taught me this lesson that I had to unlearn to start this journey. And yeah, this is how it started. And I had to break that mentality, like Turkish part of me that is looking for job security and say yes to everything just because it gives you some money. And once I pushed through that. I like silenced my excuses and good things started to happen. Actually, like the week that I quit my job, I was earning more because I had more time for myself, then I could get more private students. And I had a lot of time to explore things for my writing career. And at the end, I found a job in a month, and then I was making more money. So all that time, I was just so afraid I wasn't going to do anything. I was just so scared that I was going to lose this money. But actually, letting go of that helped me make
Mm.
more money. I just like so I'm so glad that I was able to just quiet my mind and silence all of my excuses and start this journey. And then everything like happened after that. I was braver, and then I was able to quit my second job with more confidence, but it
Yeah.
still needed a little bit push.
Yeah. And that's a common, I know that's the way I was raised, was that you got a job and you worked that job until you retired. And um and it was great to get a government job because the benefits were so good. But you didn't quit. You didn't move around. You didn't switch jobs. That meant you weren't stable. You didn't know what you wanted. It was a bad reflection upon you and your character. So that's also a very not a current social expectation. I think this generation is very different. But in the past, I think the generation that parented me definitely grew up with that mindset as well. Nowadays, I feel like most of I know my kids that are in their 30s, and a lot of the people that I associate with and surround myself with, they have that mentality that you discovered, which is if I make space by removing something that isn't working for me, then the universe will provide the thing that I do want to do that's even better, that's actually meant for me, that I can actually flourish and enjoy and fully embody. And I think that's how we stop making the excuses. And I love hearing your journey and how you did it. Um, but that's how we stop making the excuses so that we can have the life not only that we want, but we deserve, that we were put on this earth to do, right? And that we also like, that we want, you
Yeah.
know, instead of just uh, drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing
Mm-hmm.
that. I did not know that about the Turkish culture, and and that it
Yeah, it's still
was
good like that actually. Just find a job
really
and do it until you're retired. Yeah, that's why
wow.
when I told my like parents that I quit, they were like, how did you quit? And I started our when we started our company, this is a very funny story
I
actually.
love
I
this
was giving
story.
um, so and when I quit last year to start PodWritten with my husband, we got our first client. We were so happy. So then you can understand maybe the traditional people how they think about maybe business and jobs and like what perspective they have about these things. And we got our first client. We were so happy. I wanted to send some money to mom and dad. It's like, okay, go and have dinner. It's like we're celebrating. And my dad's reaction was, "You don't have a job. Why are you sending this money? Keep it to yourself." So he just couldn't even register the fact that what we do is being an entrepreneur is a job and it's one of the hardest jobs, and he just
Yes.
didn't accept it. So everything changed this year, but this is how like people saw like what we were doing. Just because if you don't work for somebody else, people still don't consider it as something. And if you're an entrepreneur, yeah, that definitely they still don't consider it as something. Maybe the younger generation is different, but with my like family and people around me, this is still like misbelief that they have, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. I loved
Yeah.
that though. I was like, how can
I
you be
mean, you get
sending us
that
money?
here.
You don't have a
Yeah,
job.
we have a client. That's why I didn't send yours, and it was it was very funny.
Neat.
What were you gonna say, Laura?
Am I caught up now?
No?
And we can hear you.
Okay, not too bad of a delay. No, what I was getting ready to say was that happens, even outside of our family, just in our generations. The younger generation is really loving the freelance world, and it's great for them. Um, I got real nervous. Like I had it was different careers, but it was jobs that went along with that. In you were always moving towards where are you working, what are you doing, where are you productive at. So yeah, it's very interesting as the world starts to go towards that entrepreneurial. Where are we building? Are we going to be the owners so that we do have people we can hire and bring in? So I'm like, everybody wins in this circle here, but you just, yeah, there's still a lot of people that was like, just for whatever reason, you shouldn't do that. That's not safe.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Safe. That's a
you know,
good word.
that's not
That's a
safe.
good descriptor, because um, in psychology, that's what our brain is just wired to keep us safe. And so all those excuses, it's just your brain trying to keep you safe because it thinks that the unknown is you know that our lizard brain or dinosaur brain or monkey brain or whatever you want to call it, thinks, well, if you do that, that's risky and you could die. We're not going to die this day and age, like entrepreneurship isn't going to kill us. It can just be kind of challenging and uncomfortable. But also on the flip side of that pendulum is how rewarding it can be. So while it can be extremely difficult and lonely, if you keep it up, if you don't lose faith in yourself, right? That pendulum will swing back, and the hardship and the all the hard work will you'll get that tenfold, right? Do you feel
Mhm.
like that's true, Goss?
Oh, I definitely feel like that. And what I want to say on top of it is, I think everything is already difficult. You work for yourself. Yes, it's difficult. It's difficult every day, but working for somebody else is as
Good
difficult
point.
as, yeah, being an entrepreneur because, and I would say, pick your heart.
Yes.
And yeah, because it's not going to be easy. I mean, nothing in life that we do is easy, but we can decide what kind of like difficult path we want to choose because at the end, you put a lot of time. I mean, you work maybe 40 hours a week and you do it for somebody else's business. That is difficult. And maybe you don't like your boss, maybe they don't pay you enough, but you still put so much time and energy into this. And instead, this is one of our like main reason why we started our business because like we are going to do this, we are going to be stressed out, we are going to have difficult moments. Why not do that for ourselves? And just I think making that decision changed everything for us. It gave us so much freedom because now we can choose like who we want to work with.
Yeah.
And we work with like amazing people who teaches us about, I don't know, meditations and yoga and fascia, I don't know, like dental treatments. There's so many things. We are learning so much from our clients and we're just so happy to have them. And is it difficult? Yes, but the other path is also difficult. I don't think that there's a like path.
Yeah. And I
I
love
saw that,
that.
yeah.
I love that saying of pick your heart because it is hard. It's
Yeah.
hard to, in the health and wellness, it's hard to get up every day and do movement, right? I have
Mhm.
chronic pain from an auto accident. Every day is hard. Um,
Mhm.
and I decided long ago that whether it's hard or not, I'm still doing the thing because it's going to be hard either way. Um,
Mhm.
the surgeries are going to be hard. The rehab is going to be hard, but it's hard if I don't do those things too. So I might as well do those things and get on the other side of the hard and have a better quality of life, right?
I totally
And
agree. Yeah.
then that reminds me of your journey. And so you did a ayahuasca journey. Where in the timeline was this? Was this obviously was after?
So actually, this was last November.
Oh
It's
wow,
a recent, yeah, it's
wow,
a
not
recent
even a
thing. It's
year.
my first time. Yeah, no, not even a year, but I still feel like it's power in me. So when I moved to Colombia, I think it was in 2018, I wanted to do this, but something happened, you know, life happened, and I completely forget about it. And we decided to leave Colombia, and then it hit me. There is one thing that I want to do, which was ayahuasca ceremony. I was like, we have to do it. And luckily, one of our friends that works with like shamans there, and we knew that we had a trusted source. We decided to do it like for a month. We prepared ourselves mentally, and 1 week before that, you prepare yourself like also physically and mentally because everybody tells you that it is going to be very hard and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be. It's going to be terrifying. I didn't read a lot of stories about like people's experiences because I wanted to have the experience to myself. The only thing I knew it wasn't going to be easy. And we had these integration calls where they teach you about like what's going to happen, maybe how you can approach things better. And one of the mantras that she mentioned was, "Thank you, medicine. Thank you for the lessons that you're trying to show me, you're showing me." And then as my mantra, I picked whatever I welcome whatever comes my way. I welcome everything. I'm going to welcome the experience and I'm going to go through the experience. I just like repeated this over and over again before the ceremony. And the ceremony day came and we went to the Malokam. It's like a special area that you do this, and we went to the Taita's room. Taita is the person who does the ceremony, and I was shaking. I was just so excited, and I drank the medicine. And after that, I was feeling that it was coming. It wasn't easy, so there's a lot of like purging involved, and then you hear other people going through their journeys, and you know, screams, cryings, more screams, and then there's music. So it's very intense environment, and then your mind is another story. I was terrified. I was just terrified, but there was one moment that I felt the earth was shaking. I felt like it was going to crack and it was going to swallow me. I opened my eyes. I could see the ceiling was just melting on top of me. So it was fear when I closed my eyes. When I opened my eyes, it was just terrifying. And then I don't know how I remember this, but I remember my mantra. I said, I welcome the experience. I welcome whatever it takes me. And suddenly everything changed for me from this like most terrifying moment of my life. I could feel that like light in my heart, and I felt like a feather. It was just flying. Everything changed for me. It's like pure happiness after that. I just can't explain the feeling. But what it taught me is that you go through these like dark moments, and the change and the growth can be just right around the corner. It could be like an hour or maybe like seconds away, when you think that this is not going to end, and suddenly it changes. And I think when it comes to businesses like that, maybe you're struggling with clients, and it could be the next email that you're going to send that is going to change the situation for you. But like since that experience, I always remind myself that we're going to have these difficult experiences in life, but whatever happens, just welcome it. And because when you welcome it, you kind of take that power away from that situation that is scaring you. And after that, you walk through the experience, and then you learn from it, and then you can grow this way. And yeah, since then, like I remember that feeling, so I use it in my business and my personal struggles. Yeah, things get hard, but you can go through that journey and then come to the other side as a better and stronger person.
So, do you think that you will do it again?
Honestly, I still feel the lesson in me. I feel like it taught me so much that I'm not looking for like another lesson currently, but I can see myself maybe in a few years just doing it again, because it's been life changing. Not only like my mentality, it also helped me control my reactions in a better way, because I used to get mad at things really fast, get annoyed so fast, and now I I can let that feeling go away, and then I don't feel that as much. I think I'm in charge of my like feelings, and how I feel about a situation, and how I see something. Now the things that used to annoy me, just they don't bother me anymore. I feel like that makes me like a calmer person, which was why I did this. But yeah, not anytime soon, but someday again. Yeah.
So, do you set intentions before you go into the ceremony or what you
Oh
want out of
yes.
it? Okay.
Yeah, because that is one of the most important things that you need to have. You need to set your expectations, because it's not an easy thing. So you shouldn't be doing it for fun or just to understand, oh, it's like, oh, I want to feel how it feels like. It's not something like that, because when you do that, and when you don't feel ready for the experience, and when you don't feel ready, you start fighting, and then like bad things happen. The
Hmm.
experience becomes more intense. For example, like one of the other people there didn't set the intentions. He just wanted to know, and it was a completely different experience for him. He just couldn't stop that feeling. I think all he wanted was just to stop this. I don't want this anymore. When is it going to end? When you approach the experience like this, it gets more intense and more difficult for you, and that's why I set my intentions, everything was clear for me, and then I prepare myself like, no, this is not going to be easy. So I welcome like whatever comes my way. I welcome the experience. And it really helped me, because it helped me get out of that situation. And now it's helping me with business struggles and personal struggles. So I'm like mentally stronger and calmer after
That's
this. Yeah.
awesome. And so,
Nice.
was that in Colombia, the
Yeah,
ceremony?
that was in Colombia.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
Beautiful.
we're fortunate that we live in an area where there are quite a few people who specialize in plant medicine and things like that. So it's readily, fairly readily available here where I live in Central Florida. Laura, what about you in your area? Do you hear of any shamans or
Oh
plant
no, I'm
medicine
in
specialists?
Oklahoma.
Yeah, not so much, huh? So you probably have to travel to find it. She's shaking her head. She's like, nope.
No.
Um,
There's things are very hidden unless you are in with the tribes and stuff like that.
you broke up a little, but I think it'll come through. So you have something to offer our listeners today. Can you tell them a little bit about that?
Oh, definitely. So we have a 4-week plan where fempreneurs can learn how to pitch themselves to podcasts, because it's one of the greatest ways to make connections in your space and start getting in practice and get in front of new audiences. So we have a 4-week guide where you can find like pitch templates and how you can pitch yourself, how you can identify the right shows, how you can craft something that podcasters would say yes. And this is what I would like to share with the audience today.
Awesome. So we'll drop the link for that in the show notes for sure, along with your website and all your socials, so people can connect with you. And there's one question that is not on the intake form that I like to ask guests, and it's not a hard one, so don't worry.
Okay.
But if you had one piece of advice for your younger self, one piece of lesson learned for who you were at any point in time before today, what would it be?
I'm going to take a second to think
Absolutely.
about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Okay, this is a great question. Actually, before I left Colombia, I made this post on Instagram because younger self, like younger me, wanted to travel a lot, and I didn't come from a wealthy family, and with the Turkish currency and passport situation, traveling like wasn't
a thing.
easy. Yeah, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't easy. But I always wanted to see the world and I wanted to do crazy things. And everybody told me that, oh, you're just dreaming too big. And if I could go back and say, it's like dream bigger because you're living the life that you dreamed of as a kid. So I'll say probably never stop dreaming. I know it sounds like a movie cliche, like never stop believing, never stop dreaming, but if I could go back in time and tell myself as like all the things that you can dream of and then you can't even imagine will come true, and then you're going to be like so happy about it because you dream and that you work hard and you're going to get the life that you want. And I'm so lucky to be able to have this life at the moment because like I worked hard for it. I dreamed a lot, and I'm glad to be here. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I think that piece of advice is good for younger people, absolutely, but it's also good for people like me, right? And you.
I think it's good for everybody.
Right. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. To dream bigger. It's not if you are dreaming, dream bigger, right? But don't stop and keep dreaming. I love that. So thank you for sharing that piece of advice with all of our listeners today. And we appreciate your time being here. And
thanks for creating this community.
thank you for being part of it. I mean, that for us, that's the most rewarding thing about doing the podcast is bringing together women, especially that are like-minded and aligned, so that we can help support each other. And that's what we're all about. And that segues really, really well into our little plug for the week, and that is we are looking for beta testers for our community. So please go to ftcpodcast.com and click on the community link and sign up to be one of the first to be involved. We're really excited about it. It's going to be a free community for listeners. We are going to offer paid tiers eventually, but the whole goal was just to get a community online for like-minded women entrepreneurs. So really excited about that. Yes. And so thank you again for being with us today, guys. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. We will see you guys next week, Monday, 12 Eastern. And we hope you have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.